Yesterday, I posted a poll on this channel. Simple question: what's your super balance? 40% of you said between $500,000 and $1 million. Another 30% said over $1 million. And I thought, oh no. Because if you're sitting between $500K and $1 million, you're in the worst position in the entire Australian retirement system. And most of you don't know it yet. It's called the taper trap. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how much it's costing you, why the government designed it this way, and 5 things you can do about it before you retire. Let me show you why this zone is so dangerous. The age pension has an assets test. If you're a single homeowner, and I'll use single homeowner numbers throughout because they're the clearest, the rules from March 2026 work like this. If your assessable assets are under $321,500, you get the full pension. That's about $31,200 a year, including all supplements, plus the pensioner concession card, cheap prescriptions, energy supplements, bulk billing, the lot. If your assessable assets are above $722,000, you get nothing. No pension, no card, no supplements. You're fully self-funded. Good luck. And everything in between, that's the taper zone. For every $1,000 in assets above $321,500, your pension drops by $3 per fortnight. That's $78 per year, per thousand.
Sounds small. It's not. Let me show you. Let's say you're 67, single, own your home, and you've got $500,000 in super. Your assessable assets are $178,500 above the full pension threshold of $321,500. The taper penalty: $178,500 divided by 1,000 times $78. That's $13,923 per year you're losing in pension. Instead of the full pension of $31,200, you get roughly $17,300. Now add your super drawdown. At 5%, that's $25,000 a year from your $500,000. Total retirement income, about $42,300. Sounds okay, until you compare it to someone with $300,000.
That person has assessable assets right near the lower threshold. They get roughly $28,000 to $30,000 in pension, plus $15,000 from super. Total income, about $43,000 to $45,000. That's right, the person with $200,000 less in super is bringing home the same money as you, possibly more. And they have the concession card that you don't. That's the taper trap. You saved more and you got punished for it. And it gets worse, because the taper rate is effectively a tax, a brutal one. Think about it this way: that extra $200,000 you saved, the difference between $300K and $500K, is generating $15,600 a year in pension loss. On $200,000, that's the equivalent of a 7.8% annual tax on those savings. 7.8% just for having the money, on top of any actual taxes or fees your super fund charges.
No bank account pays 7.8%. Most super funds don't consistently return 7.8% after fees. You are literally losing money faster through the taper rate than your super is making it. And there's a double hit: the deeming rate. As of March 2026, Centrelink doesn't look at what your super actually earns. It assumes your financial assets earn 1.25% on the first $64,200 and 3.25% on everything above that, even if your fund had a negative year, even if your term deposit is paying 2%.
So, you're being taxed on money the government assumes you're earning through a taper on assets you actually have, while your real returns might be lower than both. The system is elegant, I'll give it that. Elegant like a mousetrap. Now here's the thing most people in the taper zone never realise. The pain is worst between $400,000 and $600,000 in assessable assets. Below $400K, you're still getting a decent part pension, and the concession card benefits are softening the blow.
Above $700,000, you've accepted you're self-funded and your super drawdown is big enough to live well.
But in that middle band, $400,000 to $600,000, you're getting hammered from both sides. Pension shrinking rapidly, super not big enough to replace it. And every year that passes, inflation pushes the cost of living up, while the taper rate silently eats your pension from the other side.
This is the zone where people feel the most stuck. Too much to get help, not enough to feel secure. The retirement version of no man's land. So what do you do about it? 5 strategies, and I want to be very clear. These are general concepts, not personal advice. You need to talk to a licensed financial advisor who understands Centrelink before you do any of these. But the principles are real, they're legal, and they work.
Strategy 1. Renovate your home. Your family home is 100% exempt from the assets test. Doesn't matter if it's worth $500,000 or $5 million. It's invisible to Centrelink. So if you've got cash sitting in your super that's pushing you into the taper zone, using some of it to renovate or improve your home converts an assessable asset into an exempt one. New kitchen, new bathroom, solar panels, whatever adds value to the house. Your assessable assets drop, your pension goes up, and you've still got the value locked in your property.
Strategy 2. Funeral bonds. You can invest up to $15,500 per person in a funeral bond from July 2026, and it's completely exempt from the assets test. For a single person, that's $15,500 off your assessable assets. For a couple, $31,000. You're prepaying an expense that's inevitable anyway, and it removes that money from Centrelink's calculation immediately. Strategy 3. Gifting. Centrelink allows you to give away up to $10,000 per financial year and $30,000 over 5 years without it counting against you. Anything above that gets treated as a deprived asset for 5 years. So if you're $20,000 over a threshold, a structured gifting plan over 2 to 3 years can bring you below it. Just don't go over the limits or you'll make things worse.
Strategy 4. Time your claim. You don't have to apply for the pension at 67. If your super balance is above the upper threshold, but you're drawing it down, waiting a year or two while you spend from super can bring your assessable assets below the threshold naturally. Then you apply when you're in the sweet spot. Centrelink doesn't back pay, so timing matters. Strategy 5. The pension pivot. I covered this in detail in my $1 million super video, but the short version is this. You structure your drawdown to deliberately move your assessable assets below the full pension threshold over time, combining your super income with the maximum possible pension. Instead of a straight line drawdown that keeps you trapped in the taper zone for 15 years, you front load your spending, drop below the threshold faster, and unlock the full pension plus the concession card years earlier than you otherwise would. The maths on this can save you $50,000 to $100,000 over a full retirement.
Now the question I get asked most, Bruce, if the taper zone is so bad, should I just spend my super down to $300K and get the full pension? And the answer is, it depends, but usually no. Because the full pension is $31,200 a year. That's $600 a week. You can survive on it, but you can't live well on it. The point of the strategies I just mentioned isn't to have less money. It's to restructure what you have so the system works for you instead of against you.
The people who do best in retirement aren't the ones with the most money or the least. They're the ones who understand where the thresholds are and position themselves just on the right side of them. And here's the brutal truth most financial advisors won't volunteer. The system is designed to encourage you to either have very little and rely on the pension, or have a lot and self-fund completely. The middle is designed to be uncomfortable because the government wants you out of the middle. They want you either fully on the pension or fully off it.
Understanding that is the first step to beating it. So, if you're sitting between $500K and $1 million right now, here's what I'd do. First, know your exact number. Log into MyGov, check your super balance, add up your other assessable assets and work out exactly where you sit in the taper zone. Not roughly, exactly. Every $1,000 counts. Second, watch my previous video on what retirement actually looks like at $300K, $500K, $1 million and $2 million. I'll link it on screen right now. It shows you the full picture of each level so you can see where you're heading. Third, talk to a financial advisor who specialises in Centrelink optimisation. Not a generalist, someone who understands the assets test, the income test, the deeming rates and how they interact. One session can save you tens of thousands. The system rewards the informed and punishes the unaware. Don't be unaware. I'm the Retired Aussie. I'll see you in the next one.